this case is getting crazier by the minute. The Jamal White, the 7-year-old boy who was abducted from his front yard where his dad was outside with him from two armed men who had hoodies and a face mask. The dad ran into the house and slammed the door while the son took off to the back of the house. And I did a whole story about it, and looking at it from that angle, from the dad saying, well, he trained his son that if he ever was in this situation to probably run away from him. So this is what I'm thinking as to why we might not need to be so hard on the dad in his reaction, because we don't know how we're going to act in that time of that type of situation. Like me as a mom, and I know how I am about my babies, I'm going to I'm going to try to protect them, but we don't know everybody's intentions on how they are. Well, here's the thing. Now there is more stuff that is coming forth with this whole case. Now they have 4 people arrested. Now, 3 of those 4 people are not in direct connection with the abduction, but it is the one who actually Kid Apple, the little 7-year-old boy, who goes by the last name of Williams, who happened to be the same last name as the mother.
Safe.
They got him, y'all.
There are still unanswered questions, including who exactly was responsible for abducting him Friday night. Milwaukee police now saying they arrested a 25-year-old man near 39th and Lloyd, the same place where Jamal had been located Saturday. Police telling 12 News that 25-year-old was arrested in connection with Jamal's abduction, which triggered a statewide Amber Alert just before midnight Friday.
Follow along, y'all, because this thing is about to start turning all kinds of different ways. Now, the uncle was arrested per my video that I did a couple of days ago talking about this, or I think it was yesterday, talking about this. The uncle was arrested because he went outside pew-pewing up the neighborhood, or pew-pewing at people, not really kind of taking matters into his own hand. Well, sources also saying that he was actually pew-pewing at people who was trying to help assist them locate the son.
Terrifying abduction caught on camera. Someone sprinting with 7-year-old Jamal White in their arms, putting him into a white Jeep.
I'm glad
12 News obtained Monday shows the Jeep parked on the side of the street Friday night. It starts to move as Jamal is spotted riding his bike on the sidewalk, returning from a nearby park. The boy's aunt says her brother was driving the sedan, following alongside his young son. The camera catching the white Jeep turning around, then later blocking the end of their driveway. 2 people got out of the Jeep simultaneously. One, who appears to be holding a gun, tried down the driveway. Seconds later, the suspect comes back into frame with Jamal in his arms, putting him into the Jeep.
Do you have arrested? Well, let's look at his actions too. Well, I think what ended up happening is because of that second surveillance video that came up from a neighbor that I showed in the previous video, they got a different angle that they could look at. And on top of that, remember, the son is still in the care of Department of Children and Family, or what you call that, Child Protective Services. And I'm sure they talked to the son. So there must be something that the son must have said that might have clued them in as to what is really going on. So what they're doing is now they have arrested not only the uncle, who is the twin brother of the little boy who got abducted, but they also arrested the father and the mother of the 7-year-old boy. So now the uncle, the daddy, the mama, and the kidnapper, who happens to have the same last name as the mother, are all behind bars. And sources are starting to say that they believe that they are doing this so that they can get all of them in behind bars, and they're going to really gear in because there's some holes that are starting to formulate in the story. So I guess their game plan is to get them behind bars and see who's going to snitch on the other one. Well, they're starting to believe that this had to do with ransom money. Now, the mom and the son have IG pages that they're well familiar with, and the kidnapper actually followed the mom. Now, prior to the child getting a kidnapped, she unfollowed the kidnapper. So it's starting to look a little suspicious as to why all of a sudden, before they got your kid, that you unsubscribe to the person that took the child that happens to have the last name for you. So it really is looking a bit suspicious, on top of the fact we don't really know what the son has said to the law enforcement. Then, to make matters worse, the father is advertising a whole bunch of money online and he has no job. On top of they're saying he's in the streets and he's, the dealer. Not dealer of cars, but the dealer of the drugs. So they're saying that this is all some type of scam and scheme to try to come up on the child, which is sad. If this is something that the mother and the father have orchestrated with other people, I'm sure the family don't know what's going on. All they know is that the other family members that the child has been missing, but they are influencers, even down to the child. But of course, the child ain't making himself the influencer. The mother and the father are. This is getting crazy by the minute, by the details that are starting to unfold with this case. It's starting to seem as if there is some type of not necessarily a conspiracy with people saying this, but they're conspiring to use the child to get ransom money to come back to them. In fact, they're believing that the one who called in the anonymous tip was the actual kidnapper that possibly have some type of connection with the mother and the father. Y'all, man, this makes me look at this completely different. Maybe, we done seen people do some crazy things when it comes to their children, but this has got to be the goddamn lowest of the low. You're going to put your son in this type of situation. You're going to put your kid in this type of situation for the mighty dollar. When do we learn that money is not everything? That your child's life is more important than a dollar sign? And the fact they're harnessing in on, the father even said in his testimony that he has programmed his son that if anything was to happen when he's around the son, that this is what they're supposed to do. And so even in my video, I said, well, he must have told him to run away from him, to get away from him. But now that all this other stuff is coming to light, it's making you wonder. When the father ran outside of the house, he ran inside of the house and shut the little boy out. So in my mind, I'm thinking the little boy's just going around to hide, but he got caught, or either go through the back door, but he got caught. The father runs in, he shuts the door, so the boy is outside with the two people that were supposedly kidnapping him. The cousin of the family said it was 4 people that was there instead of 2 people that we're seeing. It's a whole bunch of mess, but it makes you wonder, what was he preparing the son for? So if you are into these activities and you are in the streets, or you're doing illegal stuff that you're not supposed to do, are you preparing your son for that? But why would you even bring that into your household, sir? Why would you even bring that to your place where you lay your head, where your family lays their head? Then they're gearing into the fact that he was following the child to the park in the car versus not putting the bike in his car, almost trying to, as if intentionally trying to keep himself separate from the son. And maybe this was all for show, just in case there was somebody out there. But in the world where everybody literally has cameras, they can get cameras from multiple places, including Google Maps. They can actually gear in at certain times to kind of see what was going on there. So y'all, this case is getting crazier and weirder by the minute. I will keep y'all informed because I'm curious to know what is really going on. And what will this little boy think once he get old enough to understand what his mom and dad did to them if they are found guilty or tied into this and may face jail time? Like, and then you hope nobody else is in on this, on the family. Who do you trust? Who do you trust to give this child over to when his own parents don't have his best interests at heart, y'all? Tell me what y'all think about this. Do y'all think they're going in on another angle as to why all of them are arrested and they're not really gearing into the other kidnappers? Like, what is going on? This is madness, y'all. This is straight madness when you think about this situation. Y'all, go ahead and drop a comment in the comment section. Let's talk. Let's I'm confused because I don't understand as a parent. Why would you do this? This is about as bad as you're selling your kids for Uggs or habits or whatever, or allowing your child to mess around with somebody. This is on the same freaking level because you're endangering your child. So it makes a whole bunch of sense as to why Child Protective Services have not released this child back into this family. Y'all pray for little Jamal White. Pray for him and pray that God continue to protect him from now what seems to be his own family. It's crazy. As always, y'all, be your brothers and your sisters' keeper. Keep God first. Lord, we got to do better. And toodles.